Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Tuesday, April 19th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you are someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. Before I get to the watch list, I first want to personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online class that I'm offering later on in the week. So if you like what you see as I go through the video and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency as a trader, then certainly get signed up for the free class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box. If you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage that you can click to get signed up. So again, if you like what you see, then definitely get signed up for that free class. A couple of quick clarification points. First off, this number over here that you see will still be changing. The candlesticks will still be moving around because the market is still open for a little bit of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement live on video here. But the market is close enough to being done for the day where everything I talk about will still be relevant for Tuesday. And then next, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame. So if you're a beginner, all that means is that each one of these candlesticks here, as they're called, represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one here, CEI. And I love this one for one reason and one reason alone, and that is because of the ability, there we go, to draw this line right here. Now, let me be very clear. I'm not trying to impress you. I'm not trying to imply that I have some sort of special talent or that this is a great discovery. I assure you, in fact, it's the exact opposite, because I assure you people around the world have drawn that same trend line. And I say that because when lots of people are watching the same level, wondering the same things, while it doesn't offer any sort of guarantee, it does make it a more than valid, a more than plausible conclusion to say, I think if the price gets up there and breaks up through it, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy if you want, but I think that could create some additional buying pressure. Again, nothing is guaranteed to happen, but by no means is that some sort of random thought process to have. That is certainly more than rational because a bunch of people are watching this pattern here. So right around, let's call it the $8 mark. Very, very interesting and potential breakout point to watch headed into Tuesday. As far as areas of support are concerned, if you like to play more so pullbacks, then the interesting pullback level on this one sits down there around the 98-cent mark. But all in all, a very well-defined pattern, pretty popular stock down in a popular price range. So let's see what happens with it on Tuesday. Next one, CASA. And this is a little disappointing, but I don't say that in a bad way. I just say it in a way of, last time I checked on this, I was planning on talking about that trend line right there and how, okay, that's going to be the key dynamic. Basically, what I was talking about was CEI. But as you can see here, late day today, got a very strong 30-minute candle right there, which did break up through it. So now this all transitions the chart into the next phase of, okay, is this late day breakout the start of something much bigger? Now think about that question. What is required for me to be able to even ask that question? Well, something needed to happen in the first place, right? There's no point in asking, is this the start of something bigger if there is no something? But we got the something, right? And that something is, again, that breakout right there. So to be fair, this is a two-sided coin. So maybe it's not. Maybe this thing just drifts back into oblivion. But again, two-sided coin. Maybe it is. Maybe this thing just keeps on beast moding and skyrocketing. That is very possible. But that is the whole idea behind a watch list, right? Finding unique situations and then watching them and then determining if you want to structure any sort of trade plan with it. So no doubt about it, this is a more than unique, a more than qualified setup here with some interesting dynamics here to at least watch on Tuesday. So if you like to play this price range, then yeah, definitely be watching this one. Next one, AMC, in a brutal day, and I call it brutal just because of the fact of, to give credit where credit's due, the last couple of days last week from that low right there up to where it started to bounce to was fantastic. But now you can see with where the price ultimately closed today, that has put the price, well, right back inside of this range where it already was. And not to insult your intelligence, but price movements that go back to where they were, not exactly a sign of genuine power, true strength. But that is, now don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean that another nice move can't start. But as far as this previous move right here, that has now just officially been a dead cat bounce with the price having gone back to where it was. And this is also where the first update comes into play. And this is just based on a foundational rule in charting, which states when levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance. So with any sort of attempted bounce here, 1775 will be that main area of resistance. And then as far as supports, key dynamic to watch, definitely right down there at 1695, which is where the price bounced from there last week. And then you can see, the power of charts right there bounce again. So to any traders that actually, caught this, potential double bottom right there, congrats to you. But overall, yeah, generally speaking, not a good day. Last week's movement has ultimately turned out to be a dead cat bounce, but who knows? Maybe there's another bounce around the corner. Next one, TWTR Twitter, and a very, very interesting dynamic here. But once again, just not to pat myself on the back, but the pat charts on the back. And I suppose as a quick plug to get signed up for that free class later down the week. But check out the power of charts. That opening 30 minutes, price came down here and bounced not only right off that general area of the green line, but right off that pink line, which is the very famous 200 period moving average. So I can guarantee you that there are technical traders out there that use charts that notice this, they accumulated some shares, and wow, did they get paid in a very big way today. So just classic example there of the power of charts. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that line there as it served its purpose for now, and I don't want to create, confusion because there's lines and clutter everywhere you look, but let's try to keep this as clean as possible. But moving forward, first update that needs to be done is because this level of resistance was broken, foundational rule, when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, they tend to act as support. So right there, $47 is going to be that near-term level of support if there is any sort of pullback. A bigger level of support, if there's a larger pullback, would then be that 50-period moving average, and then definitely that key level, which isn't really relevant right now, but I'll mention it once again anyways, is going to be that pink line right there, that 200-period moving average, which, as I already pointed out, bounced from right there. But what about key breakout points now moving forward? And the level here, which again, going along those lines of kind of self-fulfilling prophecy, those areas that a bunch of people are watching, is going to be that trend line right here. You can see that by focusing on that level, and that level did a great job of forecasting where that problem point was. But the good news is that the price is well within striking distance. I mean, it's basically knocking on the door of that potential resistance, which brings about the question of, is there going to be some sort of breakout on Tuesday? And again, with the philosophy of a watch list, finding unique situations to watch. If you like to play breakouts, if you like this price range, then I definitely say keep an eye on it. Next one, NILE, for you penny stock players out there. But very, very nice pattern here. And the dynamic here that I think a whole lot of people will be watching, all about that 72-cent mark up there. And then part of this, there's also a nice trend line right here that's been put into place. So let me actually change this to green to represent more so the bullish part of the pattern. And then to maybe make this the easiest to see, we have the resistance there. We have the support there. We have the big momentum move right here. And for you golfers out here, I'll put the golf down here. So we have what is known as a bull pennant pattern. So if you like to play bull pennant patterns, if you like to play penny stocks, then this one certainly should be on your watch list. Next one, XELA, another penny stock, but this one is definitely just the exact opposite because this is a very ugly looking chart, but there can be opportunity in the ugly. And in my mind, the opportunity could come about if the price comes down here to right around that 36 cent mark. Now, these are not sorts of setups that you should be playing if you're some sort of degenerate gambler where you don't even know what a stop loss is, let alone you don't believe in using stop loss or something like that. So this is certainly for the disciplined trader. But if this thing can get a bit more ugly, I mean, think about it. True story. Some poor souls were buying up there today. But if this thing can bleed some more, again, no such thing as a guarantee. But is it plausible to think? Is it rational to think that the price could come down there and potentially get a bounce off there? It absolutely is. So from a risk versus reward standpoint in structuring a quality trade plan, I mean, that's a very interesting area down there around 36. Now, some people might say, no, I think it should be 35. And I wouldn't disagree with that. And when you get down to it, sure, there might be little varying opinions on the exact price. But generally speaking, again, assuming you can, be disciplined and honor risk, then you could certainly structure yourself a very nice risk versus reward scenario for some kind of, dead cat bounce. Next one, MULN, and a very brutal day on this one. This level of support from previous watch list has been absolutely crushed. And in fact, need to squeeze this thing down more because as you're seeing here, it's been quite a while since the price, I guess I didn't need to go that far down, but it's been quite a while since the price has been down around this area of the chart with the next very, very important level of support. And I'm not sure if it'll get tested, but $1.50, very important because, and again, not saying this will occur, but for explanation's sake, if the price were to come down to $1.50 and then break down through there, I mean, what is that doing at that point? Looks like my ugly mug would be in the way, so let me squeeze things down. There we go. So if it were to break down through that $1.50 mark, all of a sudden, now you would have the price right back inside of this range from several weeks ago. And like I said on AMC, not to insult your intelligence, but price movements that go back to where they were, not exactly a sign of any sort of genuine strength. So in my mind, $1.50 is a very, very important level of support for that reason. As far as areas of resistance are concerned, if there are any sort of attempted bounces back to the upside, key level of resistance originally in the near term going to be right up around, that trend line right there, which sits around, let's call it $2.10. So keep an eye on that. But at this point in time, especially given the late day nature of the move, so again, check out last 30 minutes, second to last 30 minutes, and then the official last 30 minutes, this thing is coming down once again. So it's really just a big question of where is this thing going to ultimately stop? So who knows, maybe it gets down to $1.50 and bounces, but overall, rough day. Next one here, ATER, and this is exactly why I like to do these as the market's still open for a little bit. Still 3 minutes, and check it out. Price is now pushing up through that resistance trend line that I had drawn last week, and all day wasn't even really close to it, but Final 30 minute. I mean, look at this 30 minutes. Big green candle. Check out the volume. Big volume. So now we've transitioned because I was not, I was thinking about talking about this as once again that key level of resistance, but since I've been talking, it's broken above it. So we got to make the transition to that same topic from before. Okay, something has happened. Once again, that quote unquote something is a breakout is underway before our very eyes. So that now brings about the question moving forward of, is this breakout the something of something much, I'm saying something a lot. Is this something the start of something much bigger in terms of price movement? So there we go. Just as we watch it break out here. And we'll have to see what happens. Like I said earlier, just to remind you, it's a two-sided coin. So maybe it's not. Maybe this thing just drops straight back down. But again, it is a two-sided coin. So maybe this thing is going to get up over 7 and beyond. But overall, very, very, very nice final 30 minutes. So keep an eye on if you like to play this price range because, yeah, this could be the start of a whole lot bigger movement to come. Next one, CVM, and I probably should have put this one in a different location of the watch list because it falls along the lines of, I mean, this is a very, very ugly looking chart. I mean, huge, beautiful move, and again, true story. Some people are buying up here, and now look at this thing. Wow, is that ugly? But as I said earlier, there can be opportunity in ugly, and in my mind, and I'll just quickly say this, again, operates under the disclosure of you better be able to be a disciplined trader because this thing could keep on, bleeding and bleeding. But in my mind, that $3.40 mark, a very interesting level for a potential risk versus reward bounce scenario. Again, this thing does need to get a bit more uglier. You need a bit more kind of people freaking out for the price to come down there. But if it can, then you really got to like the setup. So if you like to play these situations where things are ugly and basically everybody's given up on them except you and other, smart money, then, this is an area down there that, in my mind, makes sense for a quality risk versus reward plan. And again, assuming you can actually honor stop losses. Next one, TSLA Tesla. Trade this one every day. Traded it today. Got the best of me today. It was a red day. Nothing that can't be overcome or anything like that. Usually do very well on it, but you're not going to make money every single day. And it wasn't the case for me. But point here being is a level that I've been talking about once again came into play. And this move down here, opening 30 minutes, came down to this general support area. And when you know it, once again, the prices bounced from it as it did here, and right there. So we are definitely officially in just a sideways. I mean, we've already been in a sideways channel, but I would argue we have just that much more confirmation that we're in the sideways channel as the prices bounce once more off of these. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of that level because it's become very clear that key level down here right around the 973 mark. I've been calling it 975, but we just have a couple more data points again that are showing 973 like it was these past couple of times. So I'm going to go ahead and call it 973 as the bottom part of the channel. Nothing has changed as far as the top part of the channel up there around 1025. But that's really the big question mark moving forward in my mind is somebody that's, always, not always, but trading it a whole lot. Is this thing going to continue to chop? But if it can get up there, then that's where you got to make a decision to look for potentially a breakout, or if you think it's going to get rejected back to the downside of the channel. But, the moral of the story here is that from a self-fulfilling prophecy, quote unquote, angle, I think eyes everywhere on 1025 and then that 973 area. So that wraps up the top 10. Again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency as a trader, then certainly get signed up for the free class. Like I said, it'll be later this week, Thursday, April 21st at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy this format, if you would like for me to continue to put in the time and effort to create this content, then let me know by doing two easy things. Hit the like button. Leave a simple comment below. Say hi. Tell me what you traded today. Tell me what you're watching tomorrow. But those two things communicate to me that you enjoy. And as long as you as a viewer, and hopefully a subscriber, but just as a viewer, as long as I know you are enjoying, then I have no problem at all continuing to put in the required time and effort to get this content created for you. So again, get signed up for that class later on in the week. Hopefully I'll see you there. Everybody take care. Have a good one.